We're having today a Game Gear all the way from France. This one I think is the customer's own, and another repair shop's attempted to repair but can't get it working. So it's been sent to us to hopefully get fully restored. Without Googling, can you tell me the code name of the Game Gear? So this is the customer's Game Gear. These are a bunch of my games. I thought I'd just show you the difference in loose cartridges. They all look the same. So this is an English Sonic 2. I don't have many boxed games, but here's a boxed UK game, Wonder Boy. And here's how the Japanese ones look. I much prefer the kind of small packaging, it's quite cool. And I think in Japan they were small, so they could fit in vending machines and arcades and things. This is the customer's console, so let's just take a look at the issues. So for those of you that don't know, I've done a huge amount of reverse engineering on the Game Gears, and you can find that on retro6.wiki. The first thing we want to look for is red light boot, which we seem to have. That will work without a cartridge in. Next up is to try and get audio or game load. So we'll just put in Sonic 2 and try again. And we got, doesn't appear to be anything on screen. And we don't hear audio. Once inside, we have the really high voltage backlights. This is literally just a fluorescent tube. We've got the main motherboard here. We've got the power board and audio board. So these just disconnect with ribbons. They just pull out. And let's just set the customer's back case aside and connect a clean amp duo. So this can have dual stereo speakers, one either side, but just for testing we'll just connect one, and a clean juice so we can power this from battery. So with those connected, let's turn on, and we can see the screen looks slightly different, and we have audio. So now let's reconnect the customer's audio board, and no audio at all. So let's just connect a new speaker, and no different. So customer's audio board's dead. We can repair the audio and power boards, but it's practically the same cost if just a recap doesn't work, which doesn't look like this one's had. If the recap doesn't work, we offer usually clean juices and clean amps because they cost the same as repairing the originals. And taking a look under the shield, we can see a literal fluorescent tube, the same that you have in your house. So this is operating at hundreds of volts. And if we then flip over, now we've released the screen, what we can do is access these pins on the back. When you see the lines on the screen like you do, so these lines, it's often that you don't have the contrast circuit working. And if we look on retro6.wiki in the LCD circuit, you can see I've broke down the whole circuit, how it operates and what to look for. So I'm just going to look straight away for the actual contrast pins. These are pins 64 VDD and 66 VSS, which are around here, which we can see if we probe pin 66. We have the negative 15 volts, which is high enough, and this changes with the contrast wheel, and the positive 20 volts. So they should be roughly the same, but that much difference won't make any difference. And probing every single pin on the LCD and confirming we have the correct data or voltage signals, everything is going to the LCD perfectly fine. So in this instance, we know this LCD is dead. We have one more option, and that's all the pins here come up to 3 driver chips and to a horizontal driver chip here. The fact that we have the lines and the contrast though shows that because all 3 are acting the same, I'm going to suspect this chip first. All we can do on this really is apply a bit of flux and hot air on very low temperature. So we need to pick this up, lower this down to literally like 180, just really low. So about there's fine. And this is just a last ditch effort to hopefully try and restore the connections on the glass. Oh, and you can see there's Sonic. So we have that connection partially restored. Can we get a full restoration of all the lines? Now it's not a guarantee, and we might not restore the rest of these lines, but I'll just keep going and focus on this and see if we can get it to fully restore. And unfortunately, when it cools down, it resorts to this state anyway. But even with the warm-up, we can't get some of those horizontal lines out, so I don't think we're going to be able to recover this fully. So you can see even when it's done, I can get rid of most of the horizontal lines in the center, but these top edge ones are permanent. So the solution there for the customer is a clean screen. The trick to safely removing these LCD screens I've shown a few times before now, but basically just use hot air, make sure you apply a bend to the ribbon so that it naturally bends, and all you've got to do is warm up them pins until you see them start peeling off. You can can see there, it just starts popping off as we go down. And that's the contact-free way of removing the screen. Now, if the customer ever wanted to reinstall this or keep it for memory's sake, this is completely intact with no damage to the screen or the pins. And if you want fully done consoles, we also make, as I mentioned, the shells, the rubbers, the buttons, the screen, the battery kits. We make all of this in-house, and it's all brand new, but running an original circuit board. So you've got super loud audio, which has got a clean amp duo in this one, so a speaker both sides. Goes super loud. You've got the clean screen, so it's super vibrant colours, and everything brand new. So if you want one of these, there'll be a link hopefully in this video, and if not, just go to retro6.co.uk and you can buy a brand new Game Gear. And that's all now done. There's all the customer's old parts. They've gone ahead and already paid for a clean screen and clean amp, so we just got to drop this lens in. But you can see there now, nice modern clean screen, fully working audio, and that's the console back and working for the customer.